Intelligent Talk, 1170 KCBQ.
Wait till you see what they did to my car.
Says IEAT C28.
One moment, please, for Mr. Jones.
175, 200,000 on the LS6, 200,000.
Pull out the 8-track and turn up the AM. It's time for It's All About the Car. With me, Dan the Carman Jones, and the godfather of all things automotive, Dave Stahl.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome to It's All About the Cars. This segment's brought to you by Express Auto, 619-463-1484. Go down and check them out. They take care of all my cars, and they'll take care of yours, too. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing good, Dave. How about yourself? Happy Easter to you.
Same to you.
Dave, when I was doing the history of Vara, you'll notice it's a little short. Vara is way too busy racing to actually write down their history, but I was able to reach out and they gave me a few very interesting facts, some tidbits, and then of course we had to pump up Paul Conkle, who's going to be here to talk about it. Well, I was looking for the right song to open this segment with, this history of Vara, and it started around 1970, and so when I saw this song was one of the most popular songs, I thought of you. So let's roll it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get up, get on up, get up, get on up. Stay on the scene, get on up like a sex machine. Get on up, get up, get on up, get up.
It was the dawn of a new decade, the 1970s, and cars were changing fast. At least, race cars were changing fast. Four-wheel disc brakes, fuel injection, fully independent suspension, all kinds of new technology was debuting on racetracks across the country, rendering older cars pretty much obsolete, virtually overnight. And while the well-heeled racers welcomed the technology with open arms, the older, more hobby-oriented racers weren't too happy. Keeping up with the Joneses, not to mention the Donahues and the Gurneys, was going to be quite a challenge. So one group of avid racers simply decided to go their own way. Racing apples to apples in tried and true technology, they rented their own tracks and held their own races. Others joined in, and before long, racing the vintage cars was a booming business, and it was time to make it official. In 1973, the Vintage Automobile Racing Association, VARA, was incorporated, and it's been pedal to the metal ever since. Tonight's guest is Paul Conkle Jr. The racing bug first started nibbling at Paul when he was a spectator at the 1999 British Extravaganza Race and Car Show. In 2006, the bug bit deep and he enrolled in the VARA-sponsored racing school, piloting his bone stock 1971 MGB GT and learning the intricacies of the apex and the chicane, as well as the joys of steering with the right pedal. He came back for more schooling in 2007 and 2008. Paul purchased a 1962 race-modified MGB in March of 2008. And he was racing 3 weeks later. In the 25 or so races since then, he's been in the winner's circle twice, and a bunch of so close to being there second-place finishes. In his class, the E-Production, he's finished first in 2008, third in 2009, and second in 2010 and 2011. And as a full-circle comeback, he is the race chair of the 2012 British Extravaganza Race and Car Show being held on May 5th and 6th. This was the race that put him on track to being a racing aficionado way back in 1999. We'll talk with Paul about attending race school, actually racing, keeping old cars race-ready, and putting on racing events. And all that and more tonight on It's All About the Car.
So it's going to be a good show today. You're going to learn a lot about racing. We had the SCCA racing, the autocrossing, where you're just kind of going around cones. This is wheel to wheel. You're out there and hurting your car occasionally, as Paul, I'm sure, will tell us. I do have to tell people to get on the website. It's All About the Car. Go to the photo gallery. You can see pictures of Paul, see pictures of his car, and we have a special thing. You can actually watch Paul racing right under the Listen In Live link on the homepage, there is a little link to say "Watch Paul Racing." It'll bring up a video window, and you can see what it's like to be out there on the track. And I believe that was at Willow Springs, but Paul will tell us. Before we go to the break, though, I do have a question for you, Dave. Now, you've done tons of racing schools, but I bet you've never paid for one.
I paid for Bondurant. Thank you very much. $1,400.
Ouch! 14, and you. Oh man, that's not like an automotive journalist. Our buddy Mark Maynard says you never pay for anything. Not you personally, just automotive journalists in general. But I have a question for you.
Shoot.
Vara Racing School. In a normal 2-day Vara Racing School, you get about 4 hours of class time, 6 hours out on the track, and 2 or 3 hours of just off track. Running on the skid pad, just learning some different things you need to know to be out there racing safely. There's normally 80 to 100 students there. You got a chief, you got group leaders, you got everything. What do you think a weekend costs you? A 2-day course? Is it $275, $350, or $625? And we'll find out when we come back right after the break.
I'm Carrie Kasem, and due to the huge number of listeners hungry for his mentor program.
Keep up with KCBQ hosts and current events. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Look for the icons online at kcbq.com.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome back. It's all about the car. This segment's brought to you by Midnight Oil. If you're looking for a good repair shop, take care of your exotic, 858-271-9944, or go to midnightoilmotors.com. Especially if you're a Fiat Lancia customer or any of the Italian cars, Dan over there loves working on them. 858-271-9944.
Dan over here likes riding in them.
I know. The other Dan likes working on them for some reason.
Bless him. Bless him. That's all I can say. Okay.
Well, we need to start off with one thing.
What's that?
What does VARA stand for?
The Vintage Automobile Racing Association. There we go. I'm
Bingo.
getting a thumbs up
That's
from
right.
Paul.
That's
Okay,
right.
before we go, let's talk about how much does it cost to go to VARA school, and then we're going to learn all about VARA school. But again, you get 6 hours of track time, 4 hours in the class. You get out on the skid
Just with
pad.
car or without car?
You have to. This is the price if you supply your car.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you got to supply
That's
your
a
own
kicker.
car. Okay, so $275, $350, or $625. What do you think, Dave?
Probably $325
Well, it's $350.
or $350.
$350. That's right.
That's a cheap deal.
That is a good deal.
I paid $1,400 at Bondurant.
Absolutely, but it's a different experience. Now, Paul, thank you for being on the program, by the way.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Every time I stop in at an MG club and you get up and you give your little racing spiel, I keep saying, I want to talk to him, but you're always so busy. I had to bring you on the show just to get 20 minutes to say hi. But anyway, you went through racing school 3 times before you got out on the track. Why did you do that?
Well, I didn't have a race car.
Helps.
That would be a big thing. And you wanted to drive fast.
I
So.
wanted to drive fast, and I had this car, and I still have the car. It's actually my wife's car.
And you can see that car. That's one of the photos I put up on it'sallaboutthecar.com.
Yep, it's 71 MGB GT. It's been a little bit modified. Suspension's been tweaked a little bit, and the engine's been tweaked a little bit more to get some more performance out of it. But it's a great car for the school.
Well, I would hope somebody that is out there racing can tweak up the engine to get a little bit more than the stock massive power plant that the MGBs are famous for.
Yeah, but it's not all about straight out hot rod and speed. Those cars were built for turns. Those cars were strictly a road course
absolutely.
car. I mean, Sterling Moss in Road and Track back in 1961, I think it was, made a statement that if you ever wanted to become a race car driver, the car to own, to practice, was the Bug-Eyed Sprite.
And we'll talk about the Bug-Eye. Only one more thing.
Yeah.
It was also the winner at Le Mans 3 years running.
Correct. And so I went out. That was my car. That was my car of choice. Now, I'm a lot older than Paul, so he couldn't, it was easier to get into the MGs.
Well, speaking of the MG and the Paul, tell us a little bit about what race school entails. I said, yes, you get some track time and all that, but is it worth the money?
Oh, it's a screaming deal. It's probably, well, like Dave said, he paid $1,400 for a Bondurant school. You're getting the equivalent instruction for $350, and the classroom is done by Danny McKeever, who teaches the celebrities to race at the Long Beach Grand Prix. That guy knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about.
And he'll yell at you.
He will yell at you. But I love Danny because he's able to translate complex things into very simple terms that everyone can understand.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good at it.
So when you go through the racing school, does that automatically get you your racing license? And now I can go out there and plop it down and go out and go wheel to wheel? That seems a little a little scary if I'm like, I've been out there a long time and all of a sudden this guy's waving his brand new ink barely dry license and he's going to come out on the track with me.
Well, we have a rookie program, and the school is part of that. The school counts as 2 race weekends, basically. We have a 369 rookie licensing program, so essentially you have to do 9 race weekends before you get your competition license. However, there are some shortcuts. The school counts as 2 weekends, you're observed by the chief driving instructor and your fellow racers while you're out there, and that input all goes to the chief driving instructor, so he can waive a race or 2 here and there. So you may be able to get your license.
So that
in one
race
season.
weekend, you're not out there wheel to wheel, but you're out there driving fast on the track, and they're kind of grading you.
No, you're wheel to wheel.
Well, so what's the difference? I'm not getting this, Paul. Maybe I'm a little slow.
With
my MGB might be the case.
We do identify the cars rookies so that we give them extra room on the track. So you're not gonna go side by side into a turn with a rookie without knowing that. The thing is that when we race together a lot, we develop trust. Now there are guys that I will go into any corner of any track side by side with, because I know what he's going to do and he knows what I'm going to do, and we're going to give each other racing room to keep from banging our cars together, because let's face it.
Nobody has fun when you bang your cars.
No, the cars, some of the cars are quite valuable. We've got a guy out there running an XK 120 Jag that's beautifully restored, and he's out there racing it wheel to wheel.
Do they have the rules like they do in some of the other vintage clubs that if you do touch, you're eliminated in some of HMSA, if you touch
13 months.
13 months.
That's the no touch.
Does VARA have that same rule?
We do. It's not a 13-month immediate deal. At a race, if you cause contact, then basically you're disqualified from the event. They put you on the trailer, send you home. You're given,
fair enough.
And then the chief steward will make a decision based on your attitude and the severity of the contact, and make a decision about, okay, we'll give this guy a 3-race probation, or if it's something really flagrant, he might get a 3-race suspension followed by another 3-race probation. Now, if you mess up during that time and bang into another car, now you may end up with a 13-13. It takes a couple of times, but again, it depends on how. I get the term that our steward normally uses is 1 to 10 on the bonehead scale, and if you're a 9 or 10, then
let's not spend so much time on all the bad things. Let's talk about the fun things. You're out there in a race car. You're a race car driver. How cool is that?
It is
besides being very expensive.
It's actually not that expensive.
No.
It depends.
It depends
really,
on you.
Belinda's here going, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's all a matter of the great thing about an MG is that it was always meant as an affordable every man's sports car.
Right.
So the basic parts are not that expensive, and we have within VARA within our production groups. Now, for instance, my car is in E production. And those classes A through H are based on engine size and weight of the car when they were new. Within that, we also have Group 1 cars, which are cars that are essentially easily returned to the street. So they're not as powerful, they're not as cutting edge, but that's a car that you could run for 3 years. Basically just putting tires and gas in it.
I've seen your car. It's not a Group 1 car.
No, my car is not a Group 1 car.
That car is never going to be driven on the street again.
No. And it's a car that's been a race car for a long time. The earliest history I have on it is 1982. A guy from San Luis Obispo owned the car and raced it, took it all the way to the SCCA runoffs at Road Atlanta in 1982.
Now, what's fun about VARA is that you are racing against cars that are like you. So the playing field is kind of even. It really comes down to your skill.
Yes. That's the great thing about having our rules and vintage cars and keeping a close eye on the cars so that somebody can't just outspend you And the other thing is, even if they do outspend you, the driver skill will take that away. A fast driver in a terrible car will beat a terrible driver in a great car every time.
Every time.
Now, Dave, you were talking about HMSA racing, and they have some very strict rules about the provenance of the car and what kind of car you have to buy. It has to be a start-from-scratch race car. Is that how it is in Vara, or can you build a race car? Can I take my 79 MGB and start taking things off?
Ford Escort, make a race
yes!
car out of it.
No, because it's too new. It's 67, right, is the cutoff?
No, it's 73.
Oh, okay.
73.
Well, it was 67 when they started.
But you can, because that's your car would be what we consider a continuation car, because the body style didn't change from 1962 to 80. Some of the sheet metal panels interchange all the way
bumpers.
through. But you're going to take the bumpers off.
That's true.
Well,
You're going to take the bumpers off.
Or else you will.
Yeah, I was just, again, I just want to, the question I was asking is, it doesn't have to have started off life as a race car. You can make a race car to compete in Vara events.
Yes, yes.
And I have to say one thing about HMSA, because I belong to HMSA, even though they say these cars all have to be just as perfect. They have to be born a race car. They cannot be BS. I'm here to tell you. Trust me, it's racing, okay? What Vara did is they opened the door to the everyday racer, the guy that couldn't afford to buy a 1965 Cobra, CSK 127-6. I mean, you can't do it. The guy that can go out and get himself an MG and go have the time of his life, and that's what I like about Vara. And it's a little harder for them to control the rules of the cars, when you're allowed to build what you want. But they do a really good job, and you get tons of fun out of it.
Well, you can't. That's the thing, is you can't build what you want.
Well, no, I realize that you can't.
have to within the specs.
Right.
But I'm just saying, if that car did not come with disc brakes, you could put disc brakes on it.
No.
Oh, you cannot.
No, that race car right there has drum brakes on the back. It has discs on the front, just like factory. Now, you can put four-wheel disc brakes on it, but then you're in a modified class. That moves you out of the production class of racing.
Okay, so that's with the Vara part. But I just think Vara is just a little bit more user friendly. Not taking anything away from the HMS guys. They're good guys too.
I agree. They are very user friendly.
Everybody needs to keep racing these things. Take
Yes.
them out of the
that's what they're
museums.
for.
Take them out of the garages and run the snot out of them. I had a chance to run 3 years at the Speed Festival, and I have missed it ever since.
That's
class,
a beautiful segue into my next question, Dave.
God, am I good.
That is great. Now, when I was doing this is a shameless plug for my 3D Blu-ray DVD on vintage racing that was done at the Coronado Speed Festival that you can buy on Amazon. I was talking to Adam Carolla, and I asked him, how much does it cost to do an average race? He goes, you know what? It's not that bad long as you don't break something.
There you go.
So, and every time I go to an MG Club meeting, which isn't very often, but you're always up there telling about what you broke this last weekend. How much does it cost you to go out for a race?
Go ahead.
Come on.
Well, the entry fees are pretty reasonable. They're around $325, $350. Once you have the suit and the car and all the driving gloves and shoes, then it's not that expensive. If you look at, I use probably 2 sets of tires for the year, $900 a set for the tires, so that's $2,000. But then gas for the motorhome, race gas.
You golf?
No, well, once a year.
Well, but see, there you go.
There
Look,
you
how
go.
much
There's
is
your
a
golf
bag
money.
of golf bags or golf clubs? What's a bag of golf clubs run?
I don't know.
600, 700, 800.
What's your hobby?
Yes,
Probably,
there you
yeah.
go. That's my whole point.
There you go. It's what you do.
Yeah, that's the whole point. And
Belinda's got her notebook out here. She's writing these down now. I don't think you've told her about all these costs.
No, she knows.
she's got a drop dead sweet little GT there, so she's got nothing to say. She's doing just fine. That thing's gorgeous. I love that car. But the whole point of it is, if it's a hobby, it keeps you busy. It's good. It's good for the sport. It's good for the car. I mean, the last thing you want to do is have that little thing just sit in the garage and do nothing.
And the thing is, it makes me happy.
There you go. And if you're
There
happy,
you go.
she's happy. She's happy. Oh my God, what a great circle.
Yeah.
All right.
It's,
So assuming you, and when I took pictures of it, there was no engine in it. So I'm assuming something blew up. So, so there is
but-
that cost. You are an excellent mechanic. You can build this stuff yourself, but still there is that cost of blowing stuff up.
Well, it didn't blow up. What happened is the MGB engine is very robust, and you can do a lot to it. but the oil pump drive spindle is the one fragile Achilles heel. And what we did was we tried using a bronze gear on the oil pump drive spindle because I've been using steel gears, which is fine. It lasts the whole season. But then I now have a collection of camshafts that the lobes are perfect and the gears are worn down because the metals are of similar hardness. So we tried this bronze gear and something wasn't quite right. And the bronze gear that was supposed to last all season lasted about 2 hours. It stripped the drive gear and the oil pressure dropped low enough that it
something tells me they
spun the rod bearings.
Yeah, but how long did it take you to pull the motor? Half hour?
No, I can have it. Well, I can have it out on the engine stand in about 2 hours.
Yeah, but if you're in a real hurry, I mean, these things are easy to work on.
They're very easy.
They're very easy.
And especially a race car, we've got all the
everything's gone.
The fenders.
There's not much.
The whole nose comes off.
And give a shout out to your buddies who come out and help you.
Oh God, yeah.
Come on, your crew.
You feed them?
Oh yes,
As long as
absolutely.
you
I feed them. And
give a shout out by name. Come on.
Okay. My crew chief is my wife, Belinda. She gets me strapped in the car, makes sure I'm safe, and gives me a good luck kiss on the way out.
There you go.
And then Joe Buckmiller is a friend of mine from the MG Club. He comes out and helps me quite a lot. And he's going to get started racing. He's building an MGTF right now. A TF. And he'll be racing at the next race, the British Extravaganza, with the pre-war historic group. And then my daughter has helped out also. She, makes sandwiches and brings me water and holds the umbrella on the grid. So
she's an umbrella girl.
Yes,
I've always wanted to be one of those. I can't seem to find one. And you already got one.
Yeah.
You actually have two. Jeez. I only have one.
Let's talk about
racing.
My life
Where
is good.
do you race? For people,
there you go.
Yeah,
that was my next question.
Yeah, for people that would like to come see you or maybe get involved, I mean, where do you race?
The tracks we race at are Willow Springs Raceway, north of L.A. Been around since the 50s. Great track. Button Willow up near Bakersfield. Fontana, Auto Club Speedway. That's the closest one. Las Vegas. And then the newest track that just got built out past Indio, Chuckwalla Valley Raceway. That's a great track. So much fun.
I'll be there in May.
Does it cost anything for spectators to come and watch?
It's really inexpensive. It's about $10 to $15 for the weekend. For British Extravaganza coming up, your $10 gets you admission to the track both days. You can camp at the track for free. You just got to pay for your meals and
if I remember correctly, and this was a while back, you also get to drive on the track if you bring your car, right?
Yes. If you sign up for our British Extravaganza through the Vara website, it's $40 for the weekend. That includes your $10 admission to the track. That includes driving on the track at lunchtime both days, which is normally $20 a day. It also includes a couple of barbecue tickets for the Saturday night barbecue and karaoke and all that kind of fun.
It's all on the website. I have a link to the website at it'sallaboutthecar.com. Go check it out. And Paul, you are the chair. We have like 30 seconds to. How much work is it to put on the British Extravaganza?
It's a little bit of work. You gotta coordinate the track rental, any extra things like the local Chamber of Commerce does the tri-tip barbecue. You have to get the flaggers out there. We have to arrange for our pace car fuel.
A whole lot of stuff.
Who else? Yeah, there's a whole lot of people.
And you have a full-time job.
Timing and scoring.
You guys looking for volunteers?
Always looking for volunteers.
How do people get a hold of you?
Just go through the website or call our number 800-280-VARA.
And the website again?
VARARacing.com.
There you go.
Because volunteers, that's the way to find out whether this is something that you would like to do or not, whether you're a flagman or what have you.
Absolutely.
Paul, thanks for being on the program. Next week, we're going to have Tony Parinello. If you're a high-powered salesman, you've heard of him because he's the author of Selling to Veto. He's also the owner of a pristine 1957 incredibly rare Corvette Fuley with all kinds of really cool little options. This man knows his Corvettes. That's it for It's All About the Car. Dave, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Stay safe. Rubber side down, shiny side up.
All that good stuff. Remember to call us. Contact us to suggest cars. I need cars.
All right, folks. We'll talk to you down the road. But, hey, don't forget, the You Ought to Know show is right around the corner. Cody is in the house. Don is here as well. So stay tuned. This is the Love Network.